There's an ancient Jewish parable that tells of this young guy in his 20s who's arrogant, and he finds this old rabbi and says, "Rabbi, Rabbi, I want to learn the wisdom of the Hebrew people. I want to learn the wisdom of God." And the rabbi laughs and says, "You're too young, come back in 10 years. But the young guy says, "I know Aristotelian logic, I know symbolic logic, I'm ready for the logic of the divine." The rabbi laughs and says, "Okay, I'll test you. I'll ask you one question and see if you get it right." And the young guy says, "Yeah, fire ahead." And the rabbi thinks for a second and goes, "Okay. Two guys come down a chimney, and at the bottom of the chimney, one guy has soot all over his face and the other doesn't. Tell me, who washes their face?" Well, the young guy thinks for a second and then says, "Well, the guy with the soot in his face, of course." And the rabbi says, "Don't be so stupid. The guy without the soot in his face. The guy without the soot sees the other man with the soot, thinks I must also be dirty, and then goes and washes his face. So don't be so stupid. Come back in 10 years. And the young guy thinks and goes, "Oh, sorry, okay, I get it. Test me again. Ask me another question." So the rabbi thinks for a second and then says, "Okay, here's a different question. Two guys come down a chimney, and at the bottom of the chimney, one guy has soot in his face and one doesn't. Tell me, who washes their face?" The young guy goes, "Well, the man without the soot in his face." And the rabbi laughs and says, "Go away." He says, "Don't try and be so funny, and don't try and be so clever." He says, "Of course not. The guy with the soot in his face, he sees it, feels it in his eyes, he tastes it in his mouth, he sees it on his hands, he goes and washes his face." And the young guy is confused at this stage and says, "Okay, test me again." And the rabbi says, "Okay, I'll ask you one more question. Two guys go down a chimney. At the bottom of the chimney, one guy has soot in his face, one guy doesn't. He says, tell me, who washes their face?" And the guy thinks for a second and then says, "The first guy, but for different reasons." And the rabbi goes, "Go away." He says, "Don't be so stupid. They both wash their face. How can you not come down a chimney and think you've got soot in your face? Don't be so silly." Now, what I love about this parable is that it tells us that the very first thing you need to give up in order to understand the wisdom of the Judeo-Christian tradition is the idea that there is a single answer. The first thing that you have to give up is the idea that you can pin it down. Rather, you have to realize that this is a journey, that this is about wrestling, that this is about fighting, that this is about engaging with a 2,000-year-old conversation. And it's not about reducing it to some single answer. The first thing we have to give up is the pursuit of a singular answer.